Welcome back, everyone, to the Gold Standard Podcast. As always, I am Brandon Dzwonkowski, joined by my amazing co-hosts.
Kate Wiamer,
And
Brianna Snyder.
today we have an amazing guest. Please welcome James B. Jones. James, how are you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's very
Um,
good to be here.
we're so happy to have you, James. It's very exciting. Um, so, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. Well, let me see. I am I am 37 years old. I work in technical support and yes, I have autism. So yes, I have gained fame for appearing on Love on the Spectrum, a show that is about as a television series on Netflix about people with who have autism or similar neurological conditions and their search for love and romance. Yes. Mm.
What was your experience like on Love on the Spectrum?
Let me see. It was I enjoyed it very, very much. Of course, I was nervous, but I still absolutely, without a question, enjoyed it. Yes, I watched the original Australian version of the series with a friend, and so when I watched the original Australian version, I could sympathize with the cast members of that show of the series because I knew well, what they had been through, I had been through. I knew exactly how they felt. So when I heard that there would be an American version of the series, I knew I could not miss the opportunity to audition for it. I simply had to audition for it. So I'm very glad that I did. Yes, my life has changed in so many ways.
If you don't mind me asking, after being on the show, you said your life has changed in a
Yes.
beneficial way. What does that look like?
Oh, much. Let me see. Everything has been better, as a matter of fact. Yes, people recognize me in public. People have been, I made an account on Instagram. And people have sent me various things. When I speak of my interests, people sent me music CDs, homemade soap, homemade candles. What else? Someone sent me a weighted blanket. Somebody I even gotten some brands to send me products like Liquid Death has sent me some of their water. Jones Soda sent me their soda. Monster Energy sent me some of their energy drinks. Or I even got one brand sent me a computer case. Yeah, it's been pretty awesome actually. Not too bad.
That is very cool. It's nice to get some gifts sometimes. So
Right, definitely.
So, along with some of that recognition, do you also still actively search for love?
I actually can't answer that question. You're going to have to wait and see. Well, of course,
that's fair. We don't want
I'm
to spoil
sorry.
anything.
That's okay, James. That's a great answer. Um, so kind of jumping back a little bit, I want to talk about your early childhood with autism and
Right.
growing up. What was that like for you in school?
But when in school, things were quite a bit different. Let's see. Well, and early on in school, it took a while. My parents did not know that I had autism immediately. So, yes, I did well enough academically, but not so much socially. I had trouble making new friends and it's just interacting with people proved to be a bit challenging at times. So um, let me see now. But my parents had me tested, and we asked when the doctors diagnosed me with autism, suddenly everything made sense. So my parents began to look around for a special education program that would suit me. Yes, my parents searched around, but they found a special program that would suit specifically designed for students such as myself. I am very, very grateful for that because that really helped me out. In addition to learning academic subjects, we also learned social skills, how to properly interact with people, subjects of that nature. That was immensely helpful because back when I was younger, in the 90s and even into just slightly into the early 2000s, society did not have quite as thorough an understanding. Let me see, did not have quite as thorough and understanding of autism or similar forms of neurodiversity. Yes. So yes, some other students would tease and bully me a lot when I was younger. That really led to me having lacking confidence, having low self-esteem. I won't go as far as say that I was depressed, but I was. Let me see, but I knew, but yes, but I was, yeah, I said, I was lacking self-esteem, I was depressed. And my parents actually also had me sign up for karate as well. Both of those helped me out very much, as out of question. Yes, yes, yes.
So sorry to hear that you had went through that, and your feelings are completely valid.
Oh, you say, well, that was a long time ago. Don't you worry. This was I'm 37 now. This was a very long time ago. Don't you worry about it.
What were some of the social skills strategies that helped you out growing into an adult and becoming better socially?
I'm not certain if I can what I can say about that, but I learned to be much more calm, to be careful with what is it now? I can say I'm one of the earliest students who had a who was in a class specifically intended for students of my of with people with a condition like mine. Yes, indeed. Yes. Now, society today now has definitely has a much stronger, much greater understanding of autism and neurodiversity. But when I was younger, they did not. So I'd like to believe that programs such as the one that I attended helped out significantly with that. Yes.
If you could identify one skill from your program that you learned, what would it be?
Oh, that is a very good question. Hard to say, I have to be honest. Let me see one skill. I learned well how to, as I said, how to be comfortable in public situations or in any unfamiliar situation when I'm out in public, or I guess just making new friends as well. When I was younger, I had difficulty speaking with new people and making new friends, but that's not so much of a problem anymore now, which is very nice. Yes,
Right. And I
yes.
mean, think about it. You're on a TV show now. So, seeing that growth in yourself, I'm sure is
Yes.
so cool.
Definitely helps the confidence.
Absolutely. No, yes, I'm glad. I am very glad that Love on the Spectrum premiered when or came out when it did. If Love on the Spectrum had premiered maybe 10 years ago, I might not have had the confidence to appear on it. So I'm very glad that it came around when it did. Yes, this was such an amazing boon, an amazing benefit for me. Yes, I can't say enough just how much this has changed my life. It's been wonderful.
Could you talk to us about some of your interests?
Oh, yes. I have always been very fond of music. Yes, music is one of my greatest passions and hobbies, but I also enjoy reading books. I guess sometimes I like to see movies. I'm very fond of outdoor activities. I'm very fond of hiking, swimming, mountain climbing. Yes, I definitely enjoy being outside, outdoors very much. Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you that we like being outside for physical
Good,
activity as well.
good,
Yeah.
excellent.
I know you mentioned the show Love on the Spectrum and that you've been on the show. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about that in the case that they've never seen it before?
Well, Love on the Spectrum originated in Australia. There were two seasons of the series in Australia, and thus far there have been two seasons in the United States as well. But Love on the Spectrum is a television series that currently is being shown on Netflix. I guess you could call it a reality TV series, but yes, it is also a dating series. But some people, when I first explained to some people, they ask if it is similar to the Bachelor or The Bachelorette, but no, it is nothing like those shows at all. It's far more realistic, far more calm and down to earth. And yes, the people get to be themselves. It's not scripted. The producers don't provoke you into they don't try to they do not try to cause tension between the cast members. No, it's very realistic. Very genuine. At least I would like to believe that.
Great. I love to hear that because oftentimes you watch TV shows and you wonder how much of it is manipulated or scripted. So it's nice to hear who's actually on the show that everything that's going on is happening in real time and not being pushed by the producers, like you're saying.
Exactly. So on occasion, of course, the director will just ask the cast member something or promise to say something, but no, it's other than that, it's entirely unscripted. It's entirely unscripted and everyone gets to be genuinely themselves without a question.
That's awesome. So then your viewers are really getting to know you in real time then.
Correct.
And jumping from that, you also host a lot of meet and greets now where a lot of your
Yes.
fans and viewers get to meet you in person. So
That's
like
cool.
Renaissance fairs or
Yes. True.
conventions.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, yes. So earlier this month, I had a meet and greet plus up in both March and April this year. I shall be having meet and greets with my fans as well. So that's very good. Plus, I am hoping to attend some more Renaissance fairs. Yes, I have no problem. I have a friend who has been helping arrange my appearances. I am very, very grateful for that. It's always so wonderful to meet my fans. Plus, I think I'll be attending a few concerts. Plus, I'm going to a hot sauce festival as well. So that's pretty nice.
Where is the hot sauce festival?
New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
Where
Very
are you? Where are the three of you, if I may ask?
New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Oh, I will. One of the convention to which I am going in April is in New Jersey.
Oh, you'll have to keep us posted on that. Maybe we can actually meet.
I'll make an announcement when it gets closer. I'll make a post on my Instagram page. Don't worry.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll make it a point to be there so
Yeah.
we can meet you in person.
Good, good.
Do you like hot sauce or you're
Yes.
just excited about the festival?
Well, yes, no, I'm very fond of hot sauce, as a matter of fact.
Love that.
I know you had mentioned social groups or something that are important to you. When you attend these Renaissance fairs, are you going with a group or are you going by yourself?
Sometimes I go by myself, sometimes I go with other people. Last year, I went to 3 different Renaissance fairs. For two of them, I went with a large group of people. The last one I went with just a single with just a friend. So we were the only one other person. But yeah, so it's not bad. So I hope to go to a few more Renaissance fairs this year. Shall likely invite all of my friends to those also. Oh yes, and on this upcoming Monday, I am going to a school in New York to speak with their staff and students about my life with autism and my experience with love on the spectrum. I'm very excited about that. Yes, it is very good to be helping to raise awareness and help to be teaching people about autism and neurodiversity.
When that's come from not being comfortable in front of others and then going to speak to large groups. I think that's very impressive.
Yes, thank you. No, I admit, yes, it is definitely impressive. I never could have imagined it myself. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that my life is going as well as it is now.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I know you
yes.
mentioned confidence is a huge thing. And then you watched Love on a Spectrum initially from the Australian version. So how did you get to watch that show, connect with it, and then have the confidence to apply, I'm assuming, to the one that's here in the US? Like, what did that look like?
Oh, well, yeah, it's been a few years. Well, at the time that when I first watched the original Australian version of Love on the Spectrum, I was quite confident. I was 30 something. I forget how many years it's been, but I was quite confident with myself at that time. So yes, I mean, but the majority of the cast members were younger than me. Actually, I actually don't remember. I don't actually don't. I'll have to rewatch. I should probably rewatch the Australian version because I do not remember the Australian version very well. I'm having trouble remembering a lot of the cast members' names. I'm sorry, but I think most of them were younger. I think most of them were in their 20s, so they're a little bit younger than I am. So actually, in the American version, I'm actually the second oldest. The only cast member older than me is Steve, who's like in his 60s. Yes, I'm the oldest after Steve, and Subodh is just 1 year younger than me. The rest were all, well, you know, the others were all in their 20s, and Journey was only 18 when they filmed her for the second season. But yes, so but let me see now. So yes, no, as I said, at that point I was fairly confident with myself. So again, as I said though, when I learned that there was going to be an American version of the series, I knew I could not miss the opportunity. I just had to audition for it. And so I went online, found out how to audition. They ask you to send in a photograph of yourself plus a brief greeting, just talking about yourself briefly, which I did. Mm. So of course they responded saying, "Thank you for your information. We'll get back to you if we're interested," whatever, something to that effect if they are interested. So yes, I had two interviews via Zoom because the COVID-19 pandemic was still at its worst at that point in time. So I had two auditions via Zoom. And then I had a third audition or interview in person. At that point, I was feeling quite confident because in my mind, if they actually were going through if they were going through the effort of meeting me at my house, that means they must certainly be seriously considering me. So I was ecstatic when they said that they wanted to have me on the show. Yes, of course I was nervous. Who wouldn't be? But yes, I was still excited. I was still very, very elated about it. And I'm so glad, my parents were somewhat uncertain at first because they are both very camera shy. They were rather reluctant to have the crew film in our house, but no, it was great. We all loved the experience. And of course, people recognize me in public all the time. Plus, people on occasion even recognize my parents as well. So it's very nice. And people even say they love my parents. That's great. I love my parents also. Of course, I'm very glad that people like my parents also.
I know you mentioned so many wonderful things about the show. Is there anything that you wish would be different about the show or that you could change?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I kind of wish they wouldn't show the outsides of people's houses, but other than that, no, actually, no, well, I asked them to cut out the scene where couldn't find my checkbook and I was getting flustered or whatever, but I mean, I guess it was entertaining, but also there were a few times in some other, not me, but a few times for some of the other cast members they showed them being very vulnerable and emotionally distressed. I really wish they had not shown those scenes, but no, there's really not too much that would change. I think it was a great show without question. There's not much that I would change, although some people who have watched the show say they feel that it is demeaning or infantilizing, but I wonder if they even watched the show, there were several times, several of the cast members have actually explained about it and said that no, they did not feel that it was demeaning or infantilizing at all. So yes, yes. So I had no problem. I even posted a video on my Instagram account talking about this, yes, saying that no, I feel it was an excellent show.
I could see why you feel that way, being that you had put so much thought into the fact that the show is not scripted. So giving that vulnerability is a part of reality and showing
Right.
others that it is a part of your everyday life. It's part of our everyday life. There are times where we have breakdowns and we don't feel as much in control as we'd like to be. So although it may be hard to show the world that, we thank you for showing us your real side.
Of course, absolutely.
What would you like people to know about autism?
Yes, let me see. Well, autism is a neurological condition. I do not like to use the term disability or disorder because I believe that those terms are too negative. I prefer to say condition. And also, when people speak of the autism spectrum, many people think of it as being a straight line, a linear scale or linear spectrum. But I believe a multi-sided shape, a polygon, is a better way to portray it because I think that makes more sense as each point of the polygon represents a different trait. And the further away you are from the center, the more strongly a person displays that trait.
I do love your analogy about
Thank you.
the shape,
Polygon.
the polygon, and the fact that
Gotcha.
progress is not linear and also the spectrum is not linear.
Yes, I got the idea. So like many video games will display character graphs, like statistics for their characters using a hexagon or a similar shape. Yes, that's how I got the idea. And of course, what else? And so I would like to believe, yes, too often, because of course, neurodiversity is a very vast concept, and oh, one other thing is I dislike using the terms high functioning and low functioning also because again, that implies that some forms of autism are superior or inferior to others. No, I do not like using the terms high functioning and low functioning. Because of course, autism is completely separate from Down syndrome. So I want to be careful. I mean, I'm not familiar with Down syndrome, so I gotta be careful. I do not unintentionally say anything negative about people who have that condition. But in ages past, the 80s and 90s, students who had autism were too often put in the same classrooms as students with Down syndrome. And apart from the fact that both conditions both conditions can be put under the umbrella of neurodiversity. There's very little similarity between those conditions. So, yes, I mean, unfortunately, I remember when I was younger, people would use the word retard very frequently, but not so much anymore. I'm very glad that people do not use that word very much anymore. But yes, unfortunately, too many people in special education where people would often call others that word. And, and like special education had a very negative reputation. And there was a strong stigma associated with special education, or some people breathed it as sped, which of course was an insult. And, they would say like, "Oh, he's a sped student, don't talk to him," or, that kind of thing. But thankfully, things are better now. Like special education does not have as strong of a negative stigma attached to it now. And I'm very glad for that.
I think now versus when you were a child, autism and neurotypical, neurodivergent are very much in the same room now.
Yes. Well,
A
we
lot
certainly have
of
a much greater variety of customized programs and education plans, that's for certain.
The deficits that you mentioned in the environmental situations in a school setting, are those things that you experienced personally when you
Yes.
were?
Well, for elementary school, grades 1 through 4, I was in mainstream normal education. Yes. At that point in time, that was where I had trouble. I was doing very well academically, but not so much socially. I was having trouble interacting with others, and because of constant teasing and bullying from other students, I was lacking self-confidence. So transferring to a special program specifically designed for students with autism was amazingly helpful. Yes.
What age did you transfer to this other program?
Oh, for fifth grade, for middle school. So for grades 1 through 4, that is to say, elementary school, I was in mainstream education, but for grades 5 through 8, middle school, and then grades 9 through 12, I was in a special education program. So it was immensely, immensely helpful. So glad I went there. Who knows where I would be now if I had not been in that, if I did not have all the help that I had. Yes, and of course I'm grateful. My parents, my teachers, my psychologist, etc. So many people helped me to get where I am now. So I have no problem admitting that other people helped me. There's no shame in that.
If you don't mind us asking, what does your typical day at work look like?
Sometimes it can be busy, sometimes not. Like today's Friday. Friday is usually not a very busy day, thank God. Very glad for that. That's part of the reason why I asked to have this meeting on Friday. But yes, I had to help. We have a ticketing system. We check our tickets for various things. We help use with hardware, software, networking, cable running. If a user needs to connect to the network, user needs certain software installed, etc. It's very typical stuff. I like it when we have a very quiet day. I don't like it when it gets too busy here. I can't see but this is one job where you do not want to have repeat customers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly. You want the problem to be fixed so that they can
exactly.
carry on with their day.
Jumping back a little bit, your fame with Love on the Spectrum and your passion with music, you actually got the chance to meet with Alice Cooper on your birthday.
That was pretty awesome.
How
I
did
can't
you
remember if it was exactly on my birthday, but yes, I did get to meet at Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. That was amazing for me. That was practically the equivalent of meeting Jesus or maybe Satan. So yes, there are still some more celebrities I'd like to meet, but yes, that was pretty impressive because you see, I had made a post on my Instagram account saying that I was attending the concert. So Alice Cooper's or Mr. Cooper's daughter, Calico Cooper, contacted me and asked if I would like to um meet her father and Mr. Zombie. It was amazing. The fact that I got to meet them was so amazing. Yeah, that was great. I also got them to autograph several of my albums as well, so that's pretty cool.
Did you get a chance to talk music with them and about your debut single, Heavy Metal Queen?
Well, I didn't get to talk with Mr. Zombie, Mr. Cooper very much about music because there are tons of people there, but I was the only person who met both Mr. Zombie and Mr. Cooper. Actually, nobody else signed up to meet both of them amazingly. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to converse, so just very briefly. But I decided I was not going to do the whole "we are not worthy" bit with Mr. Cooper because he's probably sick and tired of people doing that. But I decided to go with a bit of a deeper cut, actually. So in the same movie, in Wayne's World, Alice Cooper Cooper mentions that Milwaukee is a Native American name. It means it means something like the great place or something like that. I forgot what language, but yes, it's a Native American language. So I decided when I met Mr. Cooper, I said, did you know that the name Massachusetts is of Native American origin? It means near the Great Hill or near the Blue Hills or something to that effect. So yes, I had to say it. Hopefully he got the reference. I don't know, but hopefully he did.
I'm sure he did.
Yes.
So your debut single, Heavy Metal Queen, how did that come about?
Still feels funny hearing people say that. Damn. But so I love writing poetry. Been writing poetry for many years now. I think one of the earliest surviving poems I wrote in 2006, almost 20 years ago. But I love writing poetry, as I said. So at a convention last May, there was a party after the convention ended. There was a band playing it. I had just finished writing a new poem, and I had not yet posted a video of me reading it on my Instagram account. So I thought I asked the organizer if I could read the poem during the party. And then, of course, the organizer said yes. So I did. I think it was me while the band was taking a break. I read the poem and everyone loved it. And then later, the organizer contacted me and said the band liked so much they wanted to record a song with me. So isn't that amazing? Yes, so of course, I'd love to record some more songs at some point, possibly, but my friend who helps my appearances is working on that, but I'll have to see if I can ask the manager of my store to make a shirt about that, perhaps, that would be pretty cool. Yes. Yes, pretty cool. As you see, several years ago, I wrote a poem called Heavy Metal King. So I thought I should write a poem called Heavy Metal Queen to go along with it, you see.
I
Not
should
too
put
bad.
all five together now.
Was the poem that you read Heavy Metal Queen, or was it a different poem?
Oh yes, at the convention. Yes, that's specifically why they asked to record it. Yes, it's not too bad. Yes. Very
And
nice.
I know you said you have a love of music. Do you play an instrument as well?
Yes, I play the piano. Not certain how well I play, but I started playing when I was 11, 12, or 13. Yeah, so bit of a late start. Most people start much younger than that, but I love the piano. I have posted several videos of me playing my piano on my Instagram account, but no, I love the piano. I don't want to give up. But I haven't taken lessons in a while, but there's a music store not too far from, in my general vicinity somewhere, but they currently do not have any piano teachers. But that's fine, actually, because I'd like to try my hand at a different instrument. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever buy, instruments are expensive, so I don't know if I'd buy one, but I at least want to at least take some lessons to say that I know how to play another instrument. Yes.
So, James, before we wrap up today, where can our listeners find you?
I have an account on Instagram. Yes, I made my account on Instagram approximately 1 week after the first season of the American version of Love on the Spectrum premiered. Prior to that, I had very little social media presence because I simply did not feel the need to do so. But when I realized how popular the show was, I decided to make an account. I had to strike while the iron was hot. Had to take advantage of my newfound popularity. And I'm very glad I did. I'm just a few thousand followers short of 500,000 followers. So anything that can be done to help get more followers would be wonderful. I'm trying to reach 500,000 followers soon, so that would be pretty nice. But yes, let me see what else is going on. But yes, I do have an account on Instagram. My name on Instagram is James B. Jones 87. Yes, that's the year in which I was born, which I added just in case there are any other users with the same or similar names, you see.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we look
First,
forward to seeing if you find love on the spectrum.
yes, good, yes. Absolutely, stay tuned. There will be a third season of Love on the Spectrum. That's all I can say. I'm not allowed to say anything more, but there will be a third season.
No
So
spoilers
stay
here.
Yeah,
tuned,
we're excited.
everyone.
Perfect. Well, James, thank you again for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Great, thank you very much. You are very welcome. I hope that you have a very nice day also.
Check out thekarmacollection.com for stylish, ABA-inspired apparel that spreads the message of behavior science with every wear. Free shipping on orders over $120. Thekarmacollection.com